If you're an international student in the US or a person working here on H1B, you know the most frustrating part of your travel anywhere outside of the US is to come back into the US and get through immigration. Have you seen signs like this, and this at the airport and wonder why you can't go through TSA pre-check and stand in that line? The line's shorter, moves fast, and you don't have to take off your shoes. Alright, here is a way you can get TSA pre-check as a non-US citizen. This is a hack, so don't share it to anyone. If you're an Indian citizen living in the US, you won't be directly eligible for TSA pre-check, but you're eligible for something called Global Entry, which essentially gives you TSA pre-check. Global Entry is a US Customs and Border Protection program that allows expedited clearance for pre-approved low-risk travelers upon arrival in the US. If you enroll yourself into Global Entry program, you will be able to enter US through automatic kiosk at select airports. The program is designed to make international travel experience more efficient by reducing wait time for US customs. Let's see how you can apply for it. First of all, checking your eligibility. If you're not an Indian citizen, you need to check whether you can apply for Global Entry or not. But if you're an Indian citizen, then you will be eligible for Global Entry. Second, you'll have to create a TTP account. TTP stands for Trusted Traveler Program. You just create an account. It's pretty easy. I'm going to leave that link in the description. Third, you fill out a Global Entry application form on the TTP website. This will include providing your personal information, travel history, and any other relevant detail. It's a long form, so please take your time and fill it out properly. Fourth, you'll have to pay a non-refundable application fee of $100. What this fee does is this fee covers the cost of your 5 years membership. As an Indian citizen, what you'll have to do next, this is the fifth point, is you'll have to get an Indian government background check. Before you can schedule your Global Entry interview, you must complete an additional step required by Indian government. You'll have to go to the Passport Seva Kendra or PSK and apply for a police clearance certificate. I've done this, it's pretty easy. You just go with all of your documents to the Passport Seva Kendra. You provide a proof of address, possibly any other documentations which is on the website. Once you'll submit all of your documents, it can take anywhere from 4 to 5 months, sometimes 6 months as well. I applied for the police clearance certificate during COVID, so it actually took me like over a year to get that approval. And for a while I didn't realize that I have the approval until I checked the website, and it did have the approval. So it just takes time and you have to go through it. It's a pretty easy process. If you go to PSK, they'll tell you what to do, and it won't be a problem at all. Once you receive that police clearance certificate, you'll need to upload it into your TTP account and bring it to your Global Entry interview. Just make sure you follow all of the procedures. It really happens in the background, all of this PCC thing, because what happens is that the Passport Seva Kendra sends the information to US Embassy. The Indian Embassy in the US sends that information to the US Customs and Border Protection. So it's pretty easy. Don't worry about it. You won't have to do anything, but just keep checking checking your portal, the TTP portal, which I mentioned. Number 6 step is schedule your interview. Once you will be able to see a conditional approval on the portal in your computer, then you will be able to schedule an interview. There are different cities where you can schedule these interviews. I just had to go to the Tucson International Airport, but sometimes you won't find any interview dates. You can do that interview at the airport. Whenever you're coming back into the US, you will be able to schedule that interview. You will see the Global Entry sign, and you can just ask them that, hey, I have a conditional approval. Here's the conditional approval letter, and they will be able to take your interview. They don't do much in that interview. All they do is check your documentation. Number 7 is, attending the interview itself. Don't worry that the interview is not scary at all as your F1 visa interview is. Just you go to the interview, take your valid passport, take your I-20, take your proof of residency, basically US driver's license or utility bills, any other documents which is specified in the conditional approval notification. You must take that. I actually took all of the documents which I took for my H1B interview. So EAD card, H1B approval, pay stubs. Just they didn't really check during the interview. They might ask you more questions. They'll take your photo, they'll take your fingerprints, but it was pretty easy. When I applied for Global Entry, I was on F1 visa. When I got my conditional approval, I was on H1B, so when I went for the interview, I just told the officer, and he was able to update all of that information in his portal. Then, after a few weeks, you just receive approval. If your interview is successful, you'll be able to see your global entry number onto the portal. You don't get any card or anything. Your global entry number will be your TSA pre-check number as well, for you to be able to go through TSA at the airport. Super easy. Now, I have used TSA pre-check many more times as compared to global entry. Whenever I'm traveling domestically on flights, you would use TSA, or whenever I'm taking international flights also, I would use TSA pre-check number. Whenever I'm flying, I would update it on my phone. I would update that information on my phone, and it would just show up on my ticket that I'm TSA pre-check and go through it. The best part of TSA pre-check is you don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take out your laptop from your laptop bag, which is amazing. And then with global entry, I've used global entry once while I was coming back from India last year, through LAX. Usually at LAX, you can spend anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So it would take me a lot of times, but because I had global entry, it took me less than 10 minutes to go through the whole procedure, go through customs and immigration. All they asked was for my H1B approval and let me go through it. So if you haven't considered getting a global entry, please do. TSA pre-check is also amazing. If you fly a lot, TSA pre-check is just great. I'm going to leave all of the links I mentioned in the description. Go check it out. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.